For a while now, people have been asking me to talk about food and health related shit, general advice or pro tips, life hacks. Does anyone else, 90s kids, basically anything relating to this field of health, nutrition, working out and shit, because as I've stated, I graduated with a degree in human sciences, more specifically exercise physiology. So I decided instead of talking about this in my yearly answering major questions video I did not too long ago, I would make a whole video dedicated to it and tackle all the questions that I'm frequently asked in this area. So the first thing, there's no such thing as a superfood. Please stop emailing me asking me what superfoods I'd recommend. Oh, would you recommend the enhanced mulch with added fiber blend? No, superfoods don't exist, and I want you to tell yourself that every night before you go to bed after you brush your teeth. Look in the mirror and tell yourself superfoods aren't out there. It's like the boogeyman, it doesn't exist. Yeah, I'm sorry to be the one to tell you it's not the tooth fairy that's going to be leaving kale dust under your pillow when you put a tooth there. It doesn't exist. There's obviously foods that are super good for you, but there's no food that's going to be this end-all be-all where you implement it into your diet and everything is honky-dory, you're losing weight, you're gaining muscle, and your dick's growing. It doesn't exist. That's just a marketing ploy to get you to buy some products that ordinarily you wouldn't even think about. And sometimes the products are actually really good for you, but they don't do all of these incredible things that they claim to have done or will do. And on that same topic, I'll go to the next subject. There's no such thing as a magic weight loss pill that's going to vaporize your fat, just blast your adipose into oblivion without you making any lifestyle changes at all. You can pop goat urine extract pills till the cows come home. It's not going to help your belly flatten if you're not making any lifestyle changes. And again, there are supplements that will aid in muscle growth or muscle repair or fat loss, but that also takes more than just taking those supplements. You have to do more than just that. Next, stop taking everything someone says as gospel as long as they're in really good shape. So if some yoked out, jacked monster manimal tells you, hey, I got this jacked because I sucked styrofoam out of urinals and look what happened, you should try it too, it doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. And there's a very good chance he never actually sucked any styrofoam at all at any point in his life. He may be the one selling the styrofoam, and you might be the one that's fallen for the scam. And really, it's less of a scam and more just blatant deceit. What I'm trying to say is a lot of these fitness YouTubers and online bodybuilding instructor gurus, not all of them know what they're talking about. Half of them I see on YouTube can barely even speak English, and I don't mean that as in they have a primary language and English is just their secondary. No, English is their native tongue. They just suck dick at even speaking their own language. Their entire lexicon consists of nothing but lits and savages, and they just do different intonations on the same lit. Oh, you'll do 3 lits on this lit, and then take a 3-second lit. It's embarrassing to watch half of the fitness YouTubers on here. And a lot of these, secret things the government doesn't want you to know for muscle gain, these secret conspiracies that we're busting wide open here, smash that like button, it's just bullshit. And it's there just to make you click on it. And it makes sense because a lot of people, they're familiar with the same shit. They don't want to keep hearing the same routines, the same shit over and over again. So if they see something like ancient Mayan bodybuilding technique the science doesn't want you to know about, they'll click on it and they'll probably even give it a try no matter how dumb or dangerous it is, Let's say the ancient Mayan bodybuilding technique generic fitness YouTuber preaching about is you put your head in some sand for 2 days and 2 nights, and then when you take your head out of the sand, you're an Adonis. It's not going to work, but people will still try it because it's just something different. People don't want to keep hearing the same shit over and over again. They want a fast-track thing that, that's been overlooked. They want to just stumble upon this secret thing that no one's trying, and they want it to work. And 9 times out of 10, that shit doesn't work. The things you don't hear about, forgotten techniques, they're forgotten for a reason because they weren't effective. And then these people that want to drive some attention to their site or their channel or whatever, they'll pander to that drive that makes people want to find something that's faster, that's more efficient, that nobody knows about, and they'll just hop on board, click it, and give it a try. It won't work, and then they'll get discouraged. And then, they've already tried everything, and they feel like it's on them. I've tried everything people talk about, it doesn't work, and now I've tried this ancient Neptunian, Atlantean bodybuilding technique, and that didn't work either. It must just be me, and then they stop working out because they get discouraged, and it's sad. It's fucking sad. So please just stop listening to a lot of fitness YouTubers that don't really know what they're talking about. Do your own research. Don't just take somebody's word for it just because they're in good shape. Now let's move on to the most common question asked in anything regarding health and fitness. How do I lose fat? How do I get a flatter stomach? First thing you need to accept, you can't spot treat fat. You can't choose where on your body you lose fat from based on the exercise. For example, doing 1,000 sit-ups an hour, it's going to improve the strength of your abs. They're going to be a lot stronger, but it's not going to give you a six-pack if it's still buried under 10 layers of fat. You don't need to work out either if your only goal is losing weight, losing fat. That all boils down to your diet, 100%. Working out is just if you want to build muscle as well, and it'll also help with burning fat and such, because the more muscle you have on your body, the easier it becomes to burn fat. I know that's not what you want to hear, and I'm sure you've been told the old calories in versus calories out a million times, but that genuinely is what it boils down to. Just controlling how much you eat. And you can overeat if you're compensating for it with exercise and working out. You know, you're doing jumping jacks with soft nut sacks and you're just hitting it hard out there, going for gold, going fast and eating ass. Then yeah, you can definitely eat more than normal without gaining weight or fat because you've burned those calories. Now I'm going to branch off of this subject into two other really popular ones that I get asked about a lot. The first being, what should I eat in order to lose weight and such? What should I be looking for? What diet? Well, I don't really like to recommend diets because that implies that it should end at some point, where what you really should be looking for is a lifestyle change or an approach to how you eat, which should translate over a long course of time. Obviously, you can keep changing up how you eat. I constantly do, depending on my goals, but a diet really implies like this ephemeral 1 hour change or something, and that's not effective. But that being said, I do recommend a ketogenic diet. And this kind of goes against what I just said. It's a bit contradictory because I only recommend the ketogenic diet until you reach your goal. And then I would switch into just eating with common sense. A ketogenic diet's one I talked about in the past. It's where you reduce carbs a lot and you increase your fat and protein intake. That's a ketogenic diet in a nutshell. It's extremely effective. There's tons of research on it, so I'd encourage all of you out there that are curious about it or even thinking about trying it to do your own research and see what you think. There's definitely a lot more reputable studies on ketogenic diet than a lot of other stupid ones that fitness YouTubers present. You know, like, oh, hey, I'm generic fitness YouTuber 19. Here's my diet recommendation. It's called the Coca-Doodie. Here's some research, and they link to like fucking mcdonalds.com/research. It's just, there's real studies on keto diets, and I do think they're very well conducted for the most part. Another one that I'd also recommend that's also extremely popular right now is intermittent fasting. That's where you eat for 8 hours, fast for 16 for the most part. Some people do other numbers, but you're fasting for the vast majority of the 24 hours, and you get all of your meals in a short period of time. The idea behind that is when you eat all of your meals close together, you give your body so much more time to digest it and focus on other processes like building muscle if you're trying to get muscular. It makes sense, and there are a lot of studies to corroborate its efficiency, so I'd also recommend that as well and to do your research on it. Now, these two are bad examples because I don't think these are things people could do for the rest of their lives, and I think what most people need is a lifelong change in the way they approach food. That's not something you'll get from diets. That's something you'll have to hunker down on and say, hey, look, if I want to achieve this and that, I'll have to eat like this and that. And it's not easy, I know. I'll share what helped me. I've talked about this in the past. I'm pretty sure I even brought this very same thing up, but I'll bring it up one more time because it's been a while. I used to be really overweight, and since I'm so short, I looked like a fucking sloppy Joe sandwich, an extra small sloppy Joe sandwich. If you got me on a plate when you ordered a sloppy Joe, you'd be really disappointed and your stomach wouldn't even be full. I was fat and I was short, so it wasn't a good combination at all. But eventually I realized, I eat like shit, but why? If I eat like shit or I eat healthy, it doesn't matter because 2 minutes after I've finished eating, it's already gone. The happiness from eating is gone. It's just so temporary, what's the point? I might as well eat a little bit better if I want to be happier with the way I look. So that's a perspective that helped me out. Now going on to the next part of this topic is how to work out, what to do to gain muscle and such. Well, I don't want to design a general workout plan for everyone out there or give a general workout routine or anything like that. But I will say you want as many compound lifts as possible. When I say compound lift, I'm talking things like the bench press, the deadlift, the squat, the big three. I'm sure all of you have heard of those before. They're very popular for a very good reason. They recruit a lot of muscles to complete the movement. They increase testosterone. It's what you want. That's what you're looking for. But if you don't really care about weightlifting, you don't have to do weightlifting to get muscular. calisthenics is extremely effective. In fact, it's probably even better if you're only looking for an athletic physique. You'll probably get more tone and ripped off a calisthenic focused exercise routine. Calisthenics are body weight. The calisthenics involve just using your body weight as the resistance instead of weight. So things like push-ups, and then when you get more advanced, do a push-up with your toy poodle on your back. When you get even more advanced, do a handstand push-up with your toy poodle resting on your nutsack while you're upside down. Things in that nature. And that really helps build a really toned and athletic physique, which is what a lot of people only care about. So calisthenics might be what you're looking for if that's your goal. Now, this was also very hard for me when I was overweight. It's very difficult to start and then get in the routine of motivating yourself to keep going, so I'll share with you my perspective on how I viewed this and what helped me. The time was going to pass regardless. Let's say I wanted to spend I didn't want to spend an hour at the gym, but let's say I went and spent an hour to the gym and I fucking hated it. Well, that hour was going to pass no matter what I did, so at least I spent an hour helping me get to a point where I'm not disgusted every time I look in the mirror and want to fucking puke out of my penis hole. It really came to this conclusion where, time's going to pass. No matter what I do, I might as well spend a little bit of that time getting me to a point where I'll be happier 3 months from now with how I look. That's kind of what helped me. Kind of in the same way I viewed food, it's no matter what, you're going to forget how much fun that shitty meal was. No matter what, the time's going to pass, even if you spend it doing something fun, like jerking off while playing a video game and watching hentai. But I could also spend that time or that meal doing something that would help me be happier down the line. Since no matter what I did, whether I was having fun or not having fun, it wouldn't matter, because time was going to pass regardless. So that's how I viewed it, and that's what helped me. Maybe that'll help you, maybe it won't. These are the main things I get asked in emails about this subject, so I figured I'd tackle all of them in one big video here. So hopefully this helped, and hopefully it answered all of those questions. So yeah, that's about it. See ya.